What if paracosms are real in disguise? Well, I think that really the question to ask is, what does it mean for something to be real? What do we mean by real? There is an idea that and this is not going to do the idea justice. As I said, I am not a person of detail, right? There is an idea that the only thing that you know for sure is that your awareness exists. You have perceptions about everything that you know about the world is fed through your perceptions and therefore interpreted mentally or in your psyche. So there is an argument. Some people are saying that the world in some ways all exists in your mind, all exists in your head. Again, not really doing it justice. It's a bit more complicated than that. But there is this idea that the world is basically mental, and it's all just ideas and it's all happening in your mind. So you could make an argument that if your paracosm or your imaginary world or your characters, if you're creating them in your mind and they are becoming real to you, and, you know, in many ways, Chutney truly is a kind of personality of sorts. You know, I've known her for 22 years. When Chutney speaks, she does say things that surprises me. She says things that make me laugh. I talk with her enough that when I talk to her, I don't know what she's going to say before she says it, which is very interesting. So there's some sort of bypassing of my mental filter when I talk to Chutney. So it's quite funny. She can say things that surprise me. She can say things that make me laugh and shock me. So going back to this idea that maybe everything real, everything is existing in your mind and that the physical world is just some sort of mental process. You could argue that your imaginary worlds and your characters that live in your mind, that you talk to, that you interact with, that you have emotional bonds with, that they are, in that philosophy, I hesitate to say just as real, because I think that's not exactly what I mean. But you could say they are just as real as, you know, interpreting that Simon Peter Pickle is green. He is green because in my brain, I'm receiving the signal from my eyes that tells me that he is green, and I have the knowledge that he is green. In my mind, I can also imagine that Chutney really likes strawberry flavoured melon. Is that something? Well, it is now. So I've just made up strawberry flavoured melon. Is strawberry flavoured melon, if everything is just a mental process, this concept of strawberry flavoured melon that I just made up could be sort of equivalent to him being green? I don't know, but someone else with a better brain needs to perfect that. But yeah, so in terms of what was the original question, if paracosms are real in disguise, by that definition, you could say that paracosm is real, because a paracosm does, if it's come from you and it's an expression of you, it's saying something about what you value. It's saying something about who you are and what you find interesting and what you're willing to put your time into. In this sense, it's a real expression of you. It's a real reflection of something happening in reality.
Wow, this was very intelligent.
Thank you.
Anyway, back to the jokes.
No. Most people who have to solve problems alone talk to themselves because they don't know what they'll say. Perhaps, I mean, I just always talk to myself, even when I'm not alone. I mean, I think it's helpful to sort of develop inner voices. Again, I guess I'll talk about it perhaps in time, but like part of this sort of difficult period I've been through with Tropickle and, you know, emotional stuff, part of it has been sort of listening to the voices inside you that say different things and, you know, having them argue with each other a bit and understanding, you know, figuring out what you think about things. Isn't that right? You don't understand? You understand? No. Just wants to do a dance. Okay. That's all right. Just experiencing things. It's not judging, it's just experiencing. Do you see yourself? Do you know which one is you? I don't know. I'm not sure.